Hey up YouTube, what's going on? I'm Mage here bringing you another episode of the Metapod, and we're starting a brand new era of the Metapod where we're going a lot more in depth than we have done before. Now, with Rockruff being many people's early favourite, there was a lot of expectation riding on its evolution's shoulders. With the announcement of a third form recently, this episode and the next will focus on Lycanroc. Today, we'll see how well Lycanroc Midday has fared in the meta and how well it's lived up to that high expectation. So to start with, the stats. HP 75, attack 117, defense 65, special attack 55, special defense 65, speed 112. So off the bat, great speed and great attack. However, it is almost the definition of a glass cannon. A solid HP stat might save it from time to time, but it won't be enough in the majority of cases. It kind of falls in that same category as Floatzel, Weavile, Ambipom even. Those ones with great attack stats, great speed, but not a lot of defense to back them up. Now the abilities. It has Keen Eye, Sand Rush, and a hidden ability of Steadfast. Now two of those are almost competitively useless. Sand Rush is actually rather handy here because it is the only rock type Pokemon that actually gets it, which means it pairs well with Hippowdon. An issue with the Excadrill and Hippowdon combo that they faced is the double ground typing. That being said, Lycanroc is still weak to water and is also weak to grass as well, which actually makes it technically defensively worse as a combination than Excadrill and Hippowdon was. It does get notable moves in Stone Edge, Stealth Rock, Accelerock, Quick Attack, Bulk Up, Taunt, and Swords Dance. As for coverage, it gets Brick Break, Fire Fang, Crunch and Sucker Punch, and Thunder Fang as well. And this is where Lycanroc falls down. Lycanroc does not get access to Earthquake. The best move to take on Steel types is Brick Break. But more importantly, it gets absolutely nothing for fighting or ground types, which of course resist its Rock Stab. That is why it finds itself in the current lowest tier of PU, actually. I wrote this when PU didn't exist, but now it's in PU. How it's set up in the previous month. Now, PU wasn't really around last month, so it was 78th in NU last month on 2.5% of teams. Fun fact, Lycanroc is actually the main check/counter for Charizard, Scyther, Articuno and Dodrio in July. So that basically just means in July it was the thing that forced out Charizard or killed Charizard, Scyther, Articuno and Dodrio the most. Now the problem with that is the most common of those seen in July in NU was Charizard, which was 38th most common. That's where the problem is. It's not really countering any of the big threats often. It is on quite a lot. It is quite on the list, but not high up in that first position at the very least. And also because of a lack of sand setters in the tier, barring Hippopotas, Steadfast is actually the primary ability for it in NU and presumably PU now as well. That basically just means Steadfast is the one where if you get flinched you gain a speed tier. Could be handy for things if you want to use it in NU for like Ambipom, which I think is still there. Its glass cannon status is also witnessed by the most common item for it being Focus Sash, with Life Orb in second place. Rockium Z for 100% accurate Super Stone Edge rounds out the top 3. Jolly 252 attack, 252 speed is the most common EV spread with a 4 in one of the defenses. Despite the fact there are no 111 speed Pokemon in the tier, and thus you could shave off a small amount of that speed stat to nab the 110s and just add another 4 in another defense. Basically makes no difference, but there is no need for 252 in NU or PU. Predictably, the top 4 moves are Stone Edge, Accelerock, Stealth Rock, and Swords Dance, with 85%, 74%, 54%, and 34% seen respectively. Stealth Rock might look weird on a mon that is used for fast and hard hits, but a fast late game Stealth Rock could be crucial and definitely should not be overlooked, and it is on over 50% of the set, so be aware of that. Fire Fang is actually a close 5th with 33%, a good 9% more likely than its coverage stablemate Crunch, which only has on 24% of sets. Unsurprisingly, common teammates for Lycanroc Midday are Stoutland and Hippopotas, of course the Sand Setter and another Sand Rush user, but a normal Sand Rush user, so it means it doesn't get the typing coverage overlap, that's the word I was looking for. Vaporeon, Manectric, and perhaps surprisingly Glaceon round out the top 5 teammates for Lycanroc in NU for July. Bear in mind, this is July stats. There isn't any stats for PU if it existed in July. I can't remember. Its top checklist is pretty much as you expect. So these are the mons that, when Lycanroc was in, either forced it out or killed it the most. So unsurprisingly, the top 5 are Malrac, Poliwrath, Mudsdale, Rhydon and Sandslash. Surprise, surprise, fighting and ground types. Which of course, like I said, it has no coverage for. Both 2 Hitmons are in the top 10 as well. As mentioned earlier, with nothing to have fighting on ground types, 9 of the top 10 checks have at least fighting on ground in it. The other one was Clinkland. It is 93rd most common in VGC. It's on 0.6% of teams, which basically means you're not going to see it at all. 1 in 200 teams have it, essentially, just about. VGC sees it pair up with Gigalith, however, because there's no tier restriction there, with an Adamant Sand Rush set mostly when it does appear. Rock Slide is more used than Stone Edge because of the multi-hit. Firefang is second as a coverage move. VGC, Stalwart, Protect and Accelerock round out the top 4 moves. In League format, low tiers, mid to low tiers usually, and actually sits at 10 points in the last season of the PPL, and that's a good standard for a points-based draft. Personally, I haven't seen much usage of Lycanroc, and usually when it does appear, it's on sand teams. But how I would set up in the current metagame, this is on the Showdown tier, and of course this would now be for PU, maybe NU actually if you wanted to. I set this up for NU, not realising I wrote this as an NU set rather than PU set. So have fun with it if you want, because I set this up slightly more as a, like I said, as an NU set, because there's no PU stat, so I didn't realise it was out at the time. And I think I wrote it before it actually fully formed as a tier on the Showdown. So this is the Lycanroc set. It'll probably work just as well in PU as it will do NU, but I set this up as an NU set. Lycanroc with Life Orb here, Steadfast ability because it's better than Keen Eye. 252 attack, jolly. 4 defense, 4 special defense, and 248 speed. Like I said, there's no need to be 252 speed. And I would go for Stone Edge, Swords Dance, Crunch, and Accelerock. Now the reason for that is the things things in NU most used. 7th was Delphox. Miss Magus is up there. Bravery is fairly high up as well. Those kind of things there. So all you need to do is outspeed the 110s just to be safe. But you really only need to outspeed Delphox in that situation, and Miss Magus, which is 105. Could maybe shave a bit more off if you don't really care about the 110s, but 110 like Ambipom is up there, I think. Ambipom's 110. That's up there. Archeops is up there, I believe that's 110 as well. So Stone Edge will help, obviously extra stab there. Sword Stance if you get the opportunity and force something out. I would go for Crunch as a good neutral move, and it would pretty much really hurt a Miss Major because it has very little defense, and Accelerock of course for anything faster. That's what I would set up with. Obviously you won't be seeing things like Miss Magus and Delphox in PU, but like I said, this is an NU set I put on here. Where I expect Lycanroc to go, well, it can't actually go any further. Everything I've written here is actually now entirely useless because PU is actually officially now in PU. It was only on 2.5% of NU teams in July, so that is why it's ended up in PU, because the cutoff is pretty much 3.4%. That seems to be where the average lies for cutoffs. VGC 17 is basically over this point. It's unlikely Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon will make much of a difference for VGC 18, unless there's a massive overhaul in coverage moves via move tutors. It's unlikely to really be making much grounds. League-wise, being 10 points in the PPL is partially due to the fact that weather factor is not restricted, so it can exploit higher tier weather setters. Tier-wise, mid to low tiers is not really going anywhere either. I suspect it might drop a point or two in the points-based draft as well, probably ending up in the probably staying around the 8-9 region for the foreseeable future. Again, unless a massive overhaul in coverage moves happens. Especially if it gets Earthquake would be helpful, or at least a ground type move. But for now, that's it for Lycanroc. If you want to have a go with it, that was my set. Try have a go with the set line to suggested there. There's not really a lot of flexibility with Lycanroc. You can just swap out Crunch for Firefang, that's basically it. Put Stealth Rock on it if you want it. I would personally put Stealth Rock on something more reliable and bulky. But if you feel like you want a fast Stealth Rock on your team, go for that. For now, have fun with Lycanroc if you do decide to go with it, because it's not being used a lot, and I'm a good proponent of mons that aren't being used a lot. So have fun with that. I've been amazing too, you've been amazing too. I'll see you again next time for midnight. Ta-ra.